Hello everybody, welcome you back to Nine Sporting Network. We will now preview the boys teams you will see up at Morgan State for the 18th Annual Basketball Academy. We will go to our teams out of town / in the close vicinity of the Baltimore area, and then after that we will talk about the teams that are in Baltimore City. Now first we will talk about Aberdeen. The Aberdeen boys, they are 6-2 so far this year. They are ranked 73rd in the state poll on the match preps. And their key wins this year is Patterson Mill. They beat them by 7, 67-60. And CM Wright, 56-50. A couple key losses. John Kill has done well ever since they have reached in the MIAA conference. And Jobbertown. 2 respectable losses. Now, one of the key guys that up at Aberdeen, and seen Aberdeen in quite some time, so they have a new batch of kids. We will be finding out more of them when we go on out. There's Donnell Garner. Donnell Garner's with Aberdeen and the Eagles at the moment, fighting with Patterson Mill, a couple other schools in the area, for the right to see who is the best. I know, it's interesting. Eleanor Roosevelt, school you've heard about, right down there near University of Maryland College Park, right down there in the Greenbelt. And this is a nationally ranked school on a regular basis, and to get them up to the basketball academy here at Morgan is a good thing. They're 10-2 right now, and they are in the 4A class, as the biggest class of schools by registration here in the state. And in the Max Prep Poll, they are ranked 16th, and in the DMV Elite Poll, they're ranked 20th. And they have some key wins this year, including 2 Howard County schools that you normally know about, River Hill, and they beat Hawthorne by 2, 71-69. A couple key losses. One of them is Wise. Wise is always a pretty good school in that area. And of course, DeMatha, another known school in the DMV area. And a couple key players that we'll be watching for, as 4 seniors are on Eleanor Roosevelt Raiders team, as well as quite a bit of juniors. This is a guarded team, and like I said, we'll be watching for the athleticism up there when they take on both Friday Patterson, which should be a magnificent game, and on Saturday afternoon when they take on Emerson. Can't wait for them 2 matchups. Should be good. Another known school throughout the country is the John F. Kennedy Knights. This is a known school right up in the heart of Bronx, New York. This year they're not doing as well as they normally are. They're 5-6, but still, the record might show you one thing, but do not underestimate the opponent. No question about it. Do not underestimate the opponent. And one of their key players that I have information on is Bashir Adine. He is a small forward, senior, 6'5" and 190 pounds. The rest of the team we do not know about as of yet, but we know the 2 matchups they will have that Friday will be against Lake Clifton and then Saturday against Poly. So both Lake Clifton and Poly will be tested against the John F. Kennedy Knights. Largo is right there also down near DC, right in Prince George's County. They have a record of 10-2. And they're ranked 40th in the Max Prep poll. And they, in the DMV poll, are ranked 29th. Key win this year, they beat Potomac. We're going to talk about Potomac in a moment, because with all these teams in the 2A class, they will meet each other in all likelihood in the state championships. And that was one of their key wins. Key loss, Gwynn Park. Gwynn Park is always a vulnerable school that does well in basketball. Jackson County, school down in Kentucky, 5-point defeat. There's no shame in that one. And Don't have much information on Largo except Coach Howard still down there, and Largo is always a formidable opponent. They have been big. They have been a little small over the years in athletic. It'll be fun to see what this team will be when we see them. Speaking of Potomac, here they go. Potomac Wolverines, a record of 10-3. They are ranked 18th in the DMV Elite Poll, and Max Preps ranked 27th. We just talked about one of their key losses to Largo. They also lost to St. John's right down in D.C. They also beat Gwynn Park too, and they beat Poly earlier in the season, actually, in December. And one thing about Potomac, we only get Potomac one game, and that will be Saturday against Lake Clifton. Why that's a big game? Because the two teams most of the time see each other in the postseason. So that's why that's going to be a good one between them two teams. Develop a little rivalry between them. Now, Riverdale Baptist, the Crusaders, ranked 15-3, ranked 7th in the Max Press Pro. DMV Elite Poll ranked 10th. Got a lot of good wins. One key loss, 1 point buzzer beater to beat Calvert Hall. They've also beaten some good schools, Alt Bishop Spalding, National Christian Academy, Poly, Good Counsel. Riverdale Baptist, formidable opponent. It was down a couple years back, but they're back, folks. And let me tell you, Captain Matthew Woods, a senior, as well as center Gina Oka, the center senior, 6'10", 225 pounds. It's going to be a bulky team that's going to come in here. And on their 2 nights they're here, Friday and Saturday, they get City. Ooh, man. Talk about a big game for the City Knights. We're going to talk about that momentarily. They haven't been tested yet, but I think that game Friday night could be a huge test for the Knights as well, as Riverdale Baptist match up against Dunbar on Saturday. Should be an interesting one there also. All right, let's get to our teams a little closer in the Baltimore area. Baltimore County first. We have 3 teams from the county. One of them is the Milford Mill Millers. And Milford Mill has turned into the best team in Baltimore County over the last couple of years. This year again, they're 9-2. They're number 2 in both the Varsity Sports Network poll, Baltimore Sun poll. They're ranked 24th in the Max Prep State poll. They're ranked 14th in the DMV Elite poll, and they have some key wins. St. Benedict, school out of New Jersey, very popular. Folsom face Newtown. It'll be a big matchup, but everyone knows all the weather, everything that's going on there. Won't be saying that one. It'll be postponed until later on in the season, but they was able to beat Randallstown and Woodlawn. 2 big wins. 2 big wins for Milford Mill. And Milford Mill has some players that we have been looking at over the last couple of years and have come up to the basketball academy. One of them is Justin Jenners. He is a magnificent point guard. He's a junior. He runs the point well. And 2 seniors, Lomas Charles and Alan Crosby. And this Milford Mill team, athletic, if I've seen out in Baltimore County, it should be fun to see them once again, too. The Newtown Titans, that record of 9-3. They just got ranked this week in a couple of the polls. The Baltimore Sun poll, 14th. The Varsity Sports Network poll, they're ranked 17th. And the Max Prep, they're ranked 38th. Got some key losses. St. Francis. Everyone knows about St. Francis' reputation around the area. Randallstown, a 1-point defeat. They got some key wins too. They beat Edgewood in one of the classics during the Christmas holiday season, and they beat Woodlawn too in Baltimore County. So, watching Newtown, they're ranked, and they got to earn that ranking. They get 2 straight days at the Basketball Academy. The first 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Match up against Evanston Friday afternoon, and then Aberdeen on Thursday afternoon. So, 2 pretty good games that should be as well. And finally, in Baltimore County, we have Randallstown, 10-2, always a stalwart in the 2A class. They're ranked 44th in the Max Prep State poll. They're ranked 10th in the Varsity Sports Network poll. They're ranked 11th. One of their key losses against Milford Mill. Shot there, but they got some key wins too. Beat Newtown by a point. Beat J.M. Bennett Wild Point, and they beat Washington right down there in DC in one of the classes in early December. And watching Randallstown, we have a couple players to watch out for. Mainly Devin Smith, he's the captain, along with Chris Manning, both on co-captains, and also Jared Cook. So again, this is another team, very athletic. Coach English, he got them ready, and they're going to be coming out strong against Randallstown. Going to be coming out strong, mainly in their two matchups. I like the first one, Patterson. Similar teams, that should be a fun one. And then on that Saturday, they get Aberdeen. So should be very interesting to watch there. All right, let's talk about the teams in the Baltimore City. It should be fun. The City Knights, they're ranked number 1, Baltimore Sun, and this is Sports Network poll. They're 11-0. Max Prep poll, and they number 8, number 11 in the DMV Elite poll. Haven't lost a game yet this year. Also have not gotten to the beef of this Baltimore City schedule, which can test anybody. And I mean anybody. It's hard. As you're going to see the teams lined up here shortly. They did beat Lake Clifton earlier this month in January. They also, in December, beat both Cooley. Actually, excuse me, they beat Cooley actually last Saturday. That's my apology. Last Saturday, they beat Cooley by 20. Stonewall Jackson in December, as well as Wilson. Coach Del Wade, he got the Knights ready. He's back up in City. It's his second year there, and he has, and his second go-around has done some wonders. As they are in the Class 3A. And Kamar Stokes transferred from Dunbar. Now the City has made that a 3-team tandem with Timothy Bond as well as Omar George. And let me tell you, this is a senior-led basketball team. And right now, their number 1 rankings in the Baltimore Sun poll, Digital Sports Network polls, they're there for a reason. And like we was talking about earlier, the matchup against Riverdale Baptist Friday night, I can't wait to see, because talk about a test. That's a test right there for this City Knight team. And it should be definitely a good one. And then Saturday night, Medford Mill. Whew. 2 tough games. This will get you ready for state basketball coming up. It definitely will. All right, we have Patterson next. Patterson just lost their first game. Tough defeat against Lake Clifton on Friday. And right now in the Mass Prep poll, they're ranked 23rd. The Baltimore Sun poll, they're ranked 5th. And the Digital Sports Network poll, they're ranked number 5 also. And then the DMV Elite, they're ranked 26th. Got some key wins. Beat Owens Mills, beat Poly, beat Perry Hall, lost to Lake Clifton. Again, Patterson about to get into the heat of the city schedule after the Basketball Academy. They got 2 big games, one against Randallstown on Thursday night. And then on Friday, Roosevelt. And like we was talking about with Roosevelt earlier, that's a tough school to go up against. And Derek Oliver, he's a point guard. It's right there when number 3, now everybody remember who number 3 is, when he was there. And Oliver has picked up more team ball on the basketball team with Patterson. That's going to be a good one, watching their 2 games up there. Lake Clifton, everybody know him, Coach Tree, Coach Hearn, and let me tell you something, Lake Clifton's always vulnerable. And City basketball, they're always a good team. You can't count them out. They only have the 1 loss this year so far, and they was able to get the big win against Patterson last week. The 1 loss is against City. I mean, that ain't bad. And then the DMV Elite poll, they're ranked 22nd. Digital Sports Network poll, they're ranked 6th. Baltimore Sun 9th. The Mass Prep poll 20. And one of the players we'll be watching up there is Elijah Keys. He is a senior. And Lake Clifton's 2 big games. One of them is against John F. Kennedy. We'll see what John F. Kennedy has. And then the other matchup Lake Clifton will have is against Potomac. And again, that Potomac matchup has been a rivalry between the 2 teams. So that should be fun to watch indeed. All right, Emerson Red Storm, they're ranked 9-1. They had one of the key losses against Theodore Roosevelt. They got some key wins too, Dunbar and Poly. It's always good. Edmondson has played about half of the tough city teams, and they get the other half coming up at the basketball academy. In Max Preps poll, they're ranked 18th. Baltimore Sun poll, they're ranked 4th. Digital Sports Network poll, they're ranked 4th. And the DMV poll, they're ranked 19th. And we'll be looking at Rashad Whitey. He's a senior, 6'3". He is a guard forward. Do it all. And Coach Dansler has done a great job resurrecting the Edmondson program. And Edmondson is definitely a program to be reckoned with. They're on top. Should be good to see them. The last two, Poly's had some good wins here. Beating St. Francis ain't no joke there. They're ranked 7-4. They're 11th in the Digital Sports Network poll. They're ranked 10th in the Baltimore Sun poll. The Max Preps, they're ranked 33. But with Poly, the key is John Crosby, the point guard. He is the straw that stirs the drink for the Poly Engineers. And Poly's two matchups coming up at the Basketball Academy. Looking now, actually, excuse me, they have one. That one matchup is against John F. Kennedy. Actually, excuse me, they have two. The one on Thursday night is against Largo. Yeah, that should be good. The Largo matchup is definitely good. But Poly, for them, has had a tough stretch so far in the city schedule. But now, preparing them in this tournament, they can get out of here with 2 wins. Coach Bryan will be happy. They can move on and roll from there. Finally, Dunbar. Dunbar lost a lot of senior talent, man. They had a senior threesome last year. Singletary and company. And Dunbar still, hey, 8-4. Had some key wins. There's James F. Bennett. Had some key losses, too, against Poly Edmondson. But hey, Max Preps poll had him ranked 61 in the state, and the Digital Sports Network poll had him ranked 12th. So someone's saying, hey, okay, Dunbar might be having a tough go. But guess what? The Poets are not bad of a team at all, and they're definitely not. And one of their players to focus on is Keandre Gibson. He's a senior now. And it should be interesting to see Dunbar. They had 2 matchups, and they got some 2 tough ones, too. One of them is against Memphis Mill. Friday night. Yeah, that should be good. And Saturday, Riverdale Baptist right at 6:45. So that's it from both previews. By the way, the Dye Sporting Network this year will be coming at you from the Basketball Academy. Coming at you from the MIAA A, B, and C class finals. We'll be coming from you there. The city championship this year. We had some technical difficulties. Couldn't bring that to you last year. But we will be back up there this year for that. And finally, in mid-March, second week of March, we'll be up Towson's new arena. We'll be doing the state girls championship games, semifinals, and then the class final. So we'll be calling that also. So my time is up, folks. Next time you'll see me is right before game time. It should be fun, and we'll have the tape for you that Thursday night of the games on Thursday. We'll have the tape for you Friday, games from Friday night, and the games on Saturday. So it'll be same day tape. It's coming at you. We're glad you're a part of us. We thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for being patient with us. And Dye Sporting Network, better things is coming in the future. Say so long to you. See you up at Morgan tomorrow.